Happy October, everyone! It's almost Halloween, and more importantly, almost time for some candy. Yummy, yummy! Mmm. Welcome back to Sports Stub, and more importantly, welcome back to another episode of NFL Weekly Predictions with Mr. Predictable. And I'm your host, Mr. Predictable. Duh, you guys should all know this by now. We do this every week before I begin predicting. Anybody? Nobody? Alright, after this intro, let's talk about some of last week's games. First, the Patriots dynasty, which we all thought was over, looks like it's not over yet. No. The Pats' lopsided 38-7 victory over the Dolphins, which ended the Dolphins' undefeated season before it even began. Wow. We are going to stop talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick because his days are over, and he is back to his old self. Let's hold a moment of silence. Thank you. Now then, the Texans finally won a game? Whoa. And even the Raiders won a game? Whoa. But the Eagles suck, and so do the Cardinals. But the Cardinals are so much worse at 0-4. Wah. Carson Wentz is back following his season-ending injury last season. Now let's give him a real round of applause. Woo! Yeah! Woohoo! Our buddy Patrick Mahomes and his Chiefs are still undefeated. Hashtag, that's our buddy. Well, history class is over. Now it's time to move on to tomorrow's games. The Bills and Bucks both have a bye this week. Now let's go to Buffalo for a 1 o'clock kickoff where the Bills face the Tennessee Titans. Mr. Predictable predicts that Malcolm Butler and Dion Lewis's Titans will easily beat the Bills. Now let's go to legendary Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where the Big Ben-led Steelers host the Matt Ryan-led Falcons. These two actually have one special thing in common. In 2017, they were both defeated by the New England Patriots as the Steelers lost to the Pats in the AFC Championship game 36-17. Wah. And of course, we all knew what happened to the Falcons. They blew 25 points in the Super Bowl. Mr. Predictable predicts that Big Ben and that big arm of his will sail to victory. We have a new thing we do on this series, and that means the most overrated game of the week. Denver Broncos, hashtag overrated, versus New York Jets, hashtag overrated. What's going to happen in this one are the Broncos are going to choke once again after that loss against our buddy, Patrick. Mr. Predictable predicts that the Jets may win this one. Oh. Ooh. In the words of Ace Ventura, alrighty then. Let's head to Kansas City, a city that has no baseball and no basketball. So Kansas City is looking forward to Sundays from now on, especially with their 4-0 Chiefs hosting. Can the Jaguars defense finally expose Patrick Mahomes' offense?
Nope.
I don't know, ask Bob. Mr. Predictable predicts that the Jacksonville Jaguars will end the Chiefs' winning streak. Frankie, stop talking about Patrick Mahomes. I know he's your buddy and all, but remember, this is my channel, not yours. Okay, guys, forget about Fat Frankie, okay? Go eat some Big Al's pizza, Frankie. Now then, let's go to the Motor City of Detroit to watch an NFC North game against the Green Bay Packers. Hello, Wisconsin! As they face the Detroit Lions. The Lions, who are currently 1-3 and surprisingly not 0-4 after that out-of-nowhere victory over the Patriots in Week 3. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, who are 2-1-1, they still look strong and are still showing themselves in the heart of Wisconsin. Mr. Predictable predicts that the Packers will win over the overrated Lions after that. And after that game, I'm gonna go watch that 70s show. Okay, now the Cleveland Browns have a number that is greater than 1. 1, 2, and 1. It's not great, but it's not terrible, as they host the Baltimore Ravens, who are currently 3-1. 3-1? Is this 2012 all over again? We all know that what I'm talking about is Super Bowl 47, where the Baltimore Ravens faced the San Francisco 49ers, and they ended up beating the Niners 34-31. But it's not going to happen this year, boys. Mr. Predictable predicts that the Ravens are going to win this one, and the Browns' hype is over. Wah, wah, wah. Now, let's go to North Carolina to watch Eli Manning versus Cammy Newton. Giants versus Panthers. Both teams are bad, and they have been bad since the year that they went to the Super Bowl. Cam Newton, who had promise in 2015, leading the Panthers to Super Bowl 50 against the Denver Broncos, and soon retiring Peyton Manning, it was a decent-looking game that had the Panthers looked like they could win this one. However, it was Manning's last Super Bowl, and he was not going out a loser. The Broncos would go on to win that Super Bowl 24-10, crushing Cam Newton's Super Bowl dream, who was a crybaby during the game. Mr. Predictable predicts that Cam Newton is going to walk away with a victory over the most overrated Manning brother Eli after his older brother Peyton had a successful NFL career. And now, let's go to Cincinnati, Ohio to watch the Bengals face the overrated Miami Dolphins after the Patriots destroyed them last week. Andy Dalton looks like he might overpower Ryan Tannehill. Mr. Predictable predicts that Andy Dalton will walk away with the victory over the Dolphins. Hey Frankie, how's that Big Al's pizza I got you? Did you save any for me?
No.
Aw, man. Tubby. Alright, now it's 4 o'clock, and we have our eyes glued to the TVs for more closing games, and we just remembered that there's more football to come. Yay! Now let's go to Los Angeles for the only game of the day, the Oakland Raiders versus the Los Angeles Superchargers. Huh? What? Huh? Whatever. The Raiders, who are no longer a losing team, but my only question is, how did they win last week? How? Tell me how! With that defense who destroyed the Bucs in Chicago last week, Mr. Predictable predicts that the Superchargers will win this one. Now let's go up a little to Northern California to watch the San Francisco 49ers host the Arizona Cardinals. The 0-4 Cardinals? 0-4? Are you kidding me? That's just so sad. And also, with no Jimmy Garoppolo for the Niners, this could be a laughable matchup. Mr. Predictable predicts that the Niners will win this one and the Cardinals will go 0-5. Okay, now let's go to the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, where the Eagles get set to host the Minnesota Vikings. Now, for those who don't know, we put this game in our video of one of the top 5 must-see NFL games for this season, as this is a rematch between these two from the NFC Championship game where the Eagles crushed the Vikings 38-7, ending their hopes of going to the Super Bowl following the amazing Minneapolis Miracle. Kirk Cousins in his first official season with the Vikings following him leaving the Washington Redskins is looking to get Minneapolis to the Super Bowl for real, while Carson Wentz and Nick Foles are still trying to prove that they are the best QB duos in the league. Or should I say the best QB duo in the league. Mr. Predictable predicts that the Vikings will get their revenge on the Eagles and make the Eagles' hopes of getting to the playoffs worse. Now let's go back to the West Coast where the Seattle Seahawks are hosting the Los Angeles Rams, who are currently 4-0. While the Seahawks seem to be bouncing back from 0-2, standing at 2-2. Jared Goff seems to be leading the LA Rams on an impressive winning streak. Mr. Predictable predicts that the Los Angeles Rams will go 5-0, while the Seahawks will go 2-3. Who remembers when the Seahawks went to back-to-back Super Bowls, winning one and losing one? All right. Now let's go to Texas where football is everything. It's Sunday Night Football where we have an all-Texas Bowl between the Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans. After the Texans won last week in Indianapolis, and Dacky P's Cowboys beat the Detroit Lions in a tight win at home, these Texas teams will collide in a dream game one can only imagine. Mr. Predictable predicts that the Cowboys will win this one. Yeehaw! And now, who's ready for some Monday Night Football? That's right. We're out in jazzy New Orleans, Louisiana, where the Saints get set to host the Washington Redskins. Drew Brees, with an arm that is still as strong as ever, is looking to continue his dominance. Mr. Predictable predicts that the Saints will take this one at the Superdome. Well, that's all for this week's episode, boys. Make sure to subscribe and drop a big thumbs up. And don't forget to share this with everyone. And just to let you guys know, this month is going to be the busiest ever for this channel. We are going to be popping out videos than never before. Because of the MLB postseason, the NBA season coming up, and of course the NFL season in full drive. So buckle up, because it's going to be a wild ride. This is Mr. Predictable.
Oh, me!
Yes, and Frankie.
No,
Frankie, stay out of it. This is my channel, not yours. And I am signing out. Peace.
Bye!